our time is up. And anyway, it was launched last year by Mr. Josephine itself. It comprised of 3 focus areas, largely on evaluation, supporting an ecosystem, driving research, and importantly, having education to train sufficient pipeline of local talents as well in supporting this journey. All right, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Henry, for taking your time and explaining it. And if there are medical device manufacturers listening to this, I would really recommend working with CSA in shaping that scheme. And as Henry mentioned, ideally we want to not compete on cost, but on differentiating. And by you kind of like supporting the scheme and getting the label and showing that your product is more secure, that would really support the industry. So would really welcome medical device manufacturers to support the CSA on this. Thank you. So for the next one, I would like to welcome Pang from Acis Communication, please.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much to give me this opportunity. My name is Pang from Acis Communication. I'm based in Hong Kong, so it's good for me to come to deliver this our presentation and share with you. And a little bit about myself. I have been working in this ICT industry for more than 25 years. And this is my background because I have only 10 minutes, so I don't want to talk about myself. But let's talk more about cybersecurity. Now, Acis, everybody, maybe you know, Acis is the vendor of surveillance products. So how about the cybersecurity? And you guys are camera. But right now, everything is talking about IoT, and IoT has intelligent, connected to the network. Everything connected to the network. We have the concern about security, right? Not like those old history is total closed network with analog and nobody will steal it. Now, that's the reason why we say it is important. Now, from Acis point of view, we commit to ensure this cybersecurity of our offering. We provide guidance, advanced technology, tools, product, and reflect the best support to mitigate cyber risk. Sorry about my English. Now, why is interest in cybersecurity? Because as I mentioned, we want to addressing and mitigating to reduce the risk of our surveillance system for our customer. Okay. Now, it is all about not only our interest, we all interest about our customer because they are the guy who use our systems. Now, from customer point of view, what they concern cybersecurity is not a function, it's not about to protect something, it's about everything, about the data protection, the privacy, business continuity, and about their business and finance as well. So, sorry. Oops, so how come? Good. Okay, now, if you ask me about, please tell me about cybersecurity in your company. Is it a product? No. Is it a feature? No. So we believe that cybersecurity is a kind of belief, it's a best practice. How to enable this best practice is trust. Now, you will say, yes, everything talk about safety and trust and how to enable the trust. That is very, very important. We believe that it's not our job, it's not your job, it's not everybody's job. No finger pointing, please. It's a shared responsibility. Everybody should take part involved in this big task. And it is a long-lasting thing. We have to develop this as a best practice. It's long-lasting. It's not, I buy this product this time, or I enable this function this time, my job is done. No, sorry. Please keep it as a long-term best practice in your life. Right? Not only in the business, but also in my daily life as well. So one thing as a vendor, one thing to enable the trust or develop this trust is very important is the transparency and open. Because we believe that trust is bi-directional. If there is something happens, we hidden it, you will not trust me. Once it's discovered, you will not trust anybody, right? So that means the trust is bidirectional and be open. It is always our belief. Now, you may ask, how do we develop this kind of transparency and best practice? That is now this is our job now, because of course the customer has their role to participate in their responsibility in concern about their cybersecurity, their data. But as a vendor, we have our different support, or we have our service, we have our technology, we have our products and guidelines to enable this. Now, talking about trust, you say what we should do, what we did. Actually, Acis is a member of CNA, the Common Vulnerability Exposure Database, this kind of organization. That means we spend our effort, we spend a lot of investment on this vulnerability finding. That means we don't hide everything, because we believe it is important to let the whole industry and our partner understand this is what happens, so that we have our patch immediately to fix the problem. Okay, so that trust is always established like that. So it is transparent to our company, our partner and our customer. Now, as a vendor, we have to ensure all products have a safe journey, from the product development always to the decommissioning. Now, because you say, yes, this is our product, we build this function, bingo. No, sorry, this way. Because think about this, cybersecurity is, as I mentioned, is a long task, okay? Different stakeholders have their role to participate in their portion. Now, from product development all the ways to distribution, which is we're talking about the supply chain and our implementation. Because it is very important to implement the guy who implemented, right? And in service and decomposition, we have a whole framework and guideline to make sure every step is saved, right? Now, because time is limited, I want to go a little bit fast. You will ask me, hey, in your product point of view, what do you do? Okay, first, number one, the firmware is very important. If it's from the vendor, make sure it's valid. Nobody will touch it, nobody will take it. That is number one. Now, man in the middle is so terrible, it can happen. So how we can enable this? We have a side firmware. That means all the firmware is validated and are cryptographic protected, and if it's being modified or being compromised, it will not execute. Okay, that's number one. That's very important. Then, how about, hey, if I'm the engineer, I bypass it. So boot process is very important. It's the gatekeeper. Now, if that is important, how do we protect this? Make sure nobody will bypass the boot process. So we have a very secure boot process, which is like talking about from the worm to the bootloader, and then to the kernel, to the, sorry, I took too long. I mean, every process. If there's any part which is modified or not qualified, it will not boot. I mean, the system will block it. So that is what we have. Now, how about identity? Very, very important. Now, of course, you have a password. I know who you are, the user, Mr. User. But how about the device? If I put my gear in your network, is it guaranteed this device is valid in your network? So that is very important as well. We have, because of that, we have our every box, we have our device ID, and this device ID is stored in a very, very safe place. And with device ID, only the valid key we can, we use a very secure cryptographic to secure this device ID, and it's saved. Nobody will touch it. and nobody can steal it. Now, how about, okay, you have the key to encrypt everything. How about I steal your key? Yes, it's possible. If you steal the key, you are the king, right? So what do we do? All the key is located in the hardware, in our box, in a very secure hardware platform. So that means all the ways from your key, your ID, and your boot process, and your firmware will not be touched and stolen. Okay, that is from the product perspective. Again, I think the most important thing is now product design, technology. We are enabled it. It's our job, right? But for the supply chain, for the other development, management, it is also important. We have different guidelines. For example, our product hardening guide and our different best practice guideline for each type of user to say, oh, make sure you are in your password is not your default password. Your device is the update patch has been applied. So we have different tools to help your user to execute their best practice during the whole journey. Now, even the product decomposition, we have our security framework to guide for our user to reference. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much.